All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Come on in, sit on down, and get comfortable because today we are going to be taking a look at a brand new game called Dark and Darker from indie South Korean developer studio Ironmace. Many of you may remember the game first came out for early alpha playtest back in late 2022, and more recently was taken off of Steam due to the legal battle between Ironmace and Nexon, which started in April of 2023. But that's a whole different story we may cover on another day as more information is released. Dark and Darker wasn't expected to be released until December of 2023 due to Steam backing out and not allowing Ironmace to publish their game on the Steam platform. However, in an unexpected turn of events, Ironmace was actually able to attract a new publisher, Blacksmith, and got their game out into early access earlier this month on August 8th. This wasn't to say it went off without a hitch though. Servers were down for extended periods of time, with many users claiming they weren't even able to log into the game for the first couple of days. Fans were forgiving though because they realized and understood that this was all new for Ironmace, and some bugs were to be expected. However, what fans were not able to look past or forgive was Ironmace going back on their word about microtransactions. From the start, when you read Ironmace's About Us section on their website, it reads, "We are a merry band of veteran game developers disillusioned by the exploitive and greedy practices we once helped create. We've seen firsthand how corporate game companies sell their soul for the easy payday. We are disappointed to see them doubling down on more and more exploitive practices, becoming more like casinos instead of bringing joy to gamers. We're fighting to win back the hearts of gamers around the world. We believe that by creating games with soul and by respecting our users, we can usher in a renaissance of awesome video games." Now, this quote right here had many people interested because it sounds amazing. Everyone thought, a game company that's actually more interested in creating an amazing product for their consumer and not just in it for the greed? Well, yeah, I'm in too. Ironmace even had a small Q&A for Dark and Darker on their Discord back in March 5th. And microtransactions were a hot topic, with one user asking, "The topic of monetization in Dark and Darker has been a heavily discussed one in the Discord over the last several weeks, and has led to a lot of arguing and speculation. It would help a great deal if we had some sort of idea or possible examples of what monetization might look like or what it might not look like." Their response was, "It's hard to say right now because we haven't fully decided yet either." Another user asked, "What are your plans on future monetization in order to keep the servers running and the like? Or do you plan on completely relying on game sales alone?" Their response, "Game sales alone can't cover the cost of running servers on an ongoing basis. We need to generate revenue at a level acceptable to our players. There is absolutely no pay to win." Now, I get it. A studio cannot rely on game sales alone when offering a live service game. It just doesn't work. However, when you say you need to generate revenue at a level acceptable to our players, well, that's a pretty vague statement. Not all players are going to be able to come to an agreement on this, since this can be directly related to every individual's personal disposable income. A great example of this is Diablo Immortal, and seeing just how much money some people were willing to spend on the game that the average gamer could not only not justify, but also just didn't have. Every game is going to attract whales in some degree, but it's up to Ironmace to deem just how far your dollar can take you in the game. A game that in my mind did this right is Fortnite, with their integration of the Battle Pass and Seasons. Through the purchase of the Season Battle Pass, you were able to earn more cosmetic rewards as you progressed through the game. These rewards gave you no competitive advantage over other gamers, and in my eyes at least, wasn't seen as being pay to win at all. Upon the early access release of Dark and Darker, many consumers were shocked to see that microtransactions were already in place in the form of something called redstone shards. Ironmace said, "Redstone shards are the premium currency of Dark and Darker, empowering you to acquire cosmetics to accompany you on your journey." Now, if it stopped there, I don't think many people would have been bothered, since bluestone shards also exist, and through playing the game and successfully extracting, you're able to acquire these bluestone shards and use them to purchase anything you can get with the premium currency. However, Upon early access release, Dark and Darker had 2 classes locked behind this paywall, the Bard and the Warlock. This made players furious, as it seemed like Ironmace was going back on everything they previously said and falling deeper and deeper into corporate greed themselves. However, during this recent update, Ironmace released a public apology saying, "First, we want to apologize to our fans for the class unlock system. Based on your feedback, we have decided to make all classes available to everyone from the start of the game. Although there has been a lively debate on both sides of the issue, we have come to realize that we made a mistake by locking classes in this way. Our original intention was to add classes through DLC add-on packs, similar to how new killers and survivors are added in Dead by Daylight, which was one of the great games that inspired us. However, when we suddenly needed to build our own platform, we were faced with the challenge of how to support the sales of a large variety of DLC content within a short time frame. Our solution to this issue was to build a premium currency system where unlocks could be handled in-game rather than on the sales platform, reducing development complexity, since we knew that a premium currency could be used to mask the perceived value of an item. We had believed that unlocking classes through the new currency system could be an acceptable compromise to the add-on pack system, since we allowed players to unlock characters through in-game progress in addition to the payment option. We realized that having such a vital feature locked in this way was a mistake. Our plan moving forward is to remove the unlock requirements for all new classes. We plan to return all currency spent in unlocking classes back to the accounts in a future update. We thank all our fans on both sides of the debate for giving us your invaluable feedback. We will continue to strive in enhancing the game and strengthening your trust." Now, many people can see both sides of the situation. However, what many people are speculating is that Ironmace wanted to see just how far they could push it without getting backlash from their consumers. Again, I completely sympathize with Ironmace because in order to keep a live service game up and running, you need to have money coming in, and game sales alone just won't cut it. However, the game already costs a flat rate of either $35 for the standard edition or $50 for the Founders Edition. Now, the Founders Edition comes with a couple extra cosmetics, such as allowing you to make your character look like a skeleton and allowing you to make your torch glow blue, as well as a free emote as well. However, what was most appealing to me with the Founders Edition is that you're also given access to all of Dark and Darker's future test access. Now, with all that being said, I don't know how many people are willing to not only buy the game, but also pay for a season pass on top of that as well. If the game was simply free to play with the option of buying a season pass, I feel like they would attract a much larger audience to the game, since the barrier of access to entry isn't hidden behind a paywall. Because Ironmace is such a small developer and not a lot of people have heard about the game Dark and Darker, or may have even missed out on the free playtest as well, I fear that having to buy the game for $35 might just be a big enough turnoff to players that they just won't buy it, because they don't want to risk losing their money to a game they don't know a lot about and may not even like, especially since they don't have the assurance of Steam's return policy. With all that being said though, I have thoroughly enjoyed my time playing Dark and Darker Early Access release. The game is so much fun and equally unforgiving. I remember playing the early playtest earlier this year, and after the week was up and the servers went down, it felt like there was an itch that just couldn't be scratched by any other game, because, at least in my opinion, no other game even comes close to what Dark and Darker has to offer. In my opinion, I think Ironmace is on track to making a very successful game, and you can really tell that this project is a labor of love for all people involved. They not only welcome feedback from the community, but they listen to it as well, which is simply amazing in my mind. This can easily be seen on their Twitter page as well, where you can see all their weekly updates and hotfixes to the game. I believe the developers really care about their consumers and want to offer the best product that they can. However, they need to find a way to monetize it in some way, and they're still trying to figure that out. I honestly can't wait to see what Ironmace has in store for us in the future, as I have become completely addicted to this game since it came out in early playtests. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the game in the comments, and any ideas on how you think Ironmace could implement microtransactions without people getting angry. Do you think a season battle pass is the way to go, or not? As always, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I think I'll be focusing a little bit more on Dark and Darker in the near future, making more content like this, as well as some gameplay as well. If you enjoyed the video, I'd be honored if you hit that like button, and if you really want to, you can hit that sub button as well to stay in the loop. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. And don't forget, keep your stick on the ice.